Black Ops Narrative, Season 2, Act 23, Clean Room. The clean room didn't feel clean. It felt like a place people went when they were running out of options and wanted their fears to echo less. Reyes sat alone for 4 minutes before anyone spoke again. 4 minutes wasn't long in civilian time. In their time, it was a lifetime. Enough space for doubt to start forming muscle. The building creaked in the rain. Old wiring, old bones, the kind of place that remembered every panic it ever had. Lena was at the server closest, shoulders squared, sleeves pulled up, hair pinned tight. The equipment hummed under her hands, relaying clicks, fans grinding, and an animal forced back into work. Torres sat at the center table, forearms on his knees, head slightly lowered. The heavy didn't look defeated. He looked measured, like he was rationing rage. Crews ran the perimeter in loops, not nervous, never nervous, just unwilling to believe the room was safe because it wanted to be. Bishop stayed upstairs behind cracked glass, watching streets and rooftops, patience sharpened into a weapon. Reyes stared at the ledger bag. He didn't open it again. He didn't want those pages in the air. Paper carried suggestions, trust structure, plausible internal failure. They weren't going to blow the building up. They were going to make them break inside of it. A soft tone came from Lena's laptop, an alert that didn't belong to the machine. It wasn't her. A signal she built, a whisper through a dead city. Lena's eyes narrowed at the screen. Reyes didn't ask what it was. The air changed on its own. "What is it?" Cruz asked. "Already drifting closer?" Lena didn't look up. A contact tried to reach me. Torres lifted his head. "You got contacts now?" "Don't start," Lena said, flat. Reyes stepped behind her. One line of text sat on the screen like a bruise. Heart requested direct. No channels, no handlers tonight. Reyes' jaw locked. Heart didn't request. Heart managed, balanced, stayed inside the machine unless the machine turned its teeth towards him. Bishop's voice came through the comms. "Reyes, go." 2 vehicles slow roll, no headlights, not police, not local, checking the block. Lena's fingers hovered over the keys. "We're burned." "No," Reyes said. "We're being observed." Torres exhaled like smoke. "Same thing?" Reyes looked at Lena. "Can you reply?" "I can," Lena said. "But it confirms we're here." Reyes nodded once. "Confirm it." Cruz's eyes snapped to him. "You want to let them know?" "I want Hart to know we're alive," Reyes said. Then quieter. "And I want whoever's watching to see that I still choose my moves." Lena typed one line. Direct. When and where. She hit send. For 10 seconds, the building returned breathing. Then a reply came. O200, underpass, near Old Customs. Come alone. Torres scoffed. Come alone. Cute. Bishop, that's kill instructions. Or a confession instruction. Reyes stared at the message until it might as well have been stamped on paper. The ledger logic returned without being opened. Your ethics or your people. Heart was a lever, a boundary, the last institutional thread that tried Reyes, and he didn't stop. Reyes looked at the team. "We move now." Cruz tilted his head. "To meet him?" "Not where, here, when they decide this building is useful," Reyes said. Lena grabbed her bag, already stripping cables and drives like she anticipated the moment since the architecture fell. Torres stood. The movement was stiff, painful, disguised as readiness. Cruz went first down the stairs, silent. Reyes followed. Halfway down, the phone buzzed. Once, not a call, a message from a number with no identity. Direct requested acknowledged. Observation continues. Reyes stopped in the stairwell. Concrete pressed closed. Rain tickled on the glass like a quiet countdown. Lena turned, to read his face. What? Reyes didn't show her the screen. Not yet. He looked up towards the cracked window where the water drew lines down the glass like a prison. They're watching, Hart, too, he said. They moved through the back streets and service routes, switching vehicles twice. No conversation, no wasted motion. Just a city blurred in a mist and sodium light, a wet grid of angels and reflections. At 0200, they stopped 3 blocks from the underpass. Reyes stepped out into damp cold. The rain had thinned into fog. Cars hissed above the road, tires whispering in the distance like applause for a play nobody had volunteered to be in. Bishop, Overwatch set, underpath, both approaches. Cruz, east side quiet. Torres, West Alley, eyes open. Lena, stay with Torres. Reyes didn't argue. Alone was the word institution used to create blame. He moved forward anyway, hood up, hands empty, posture neutral. The underpass was a concrete throat stained with a runoff and exhaust, a perfect place for a man like Hart to meet if he didn't want official memories. Hart was already there. He stood under the center light, one flickering bulb that looked like it had failed and had been threatened back into service. Plain coat, collar high, hair damp, face control, always control, but strain showed in the jaw, in a way that he held his shoulders like was always carrying a decision. Reyes, Hart said. Reyes stopped 10 feet away. Hart. Neither moved closer. A truck passed overhead. Sound rolled through the concrete like thunder. Hart didn't waste any time. You're compromised, Hart said. Reyes nodded once. I noticed. Hart eyes sharpened. Not compromised, tagged. They're using you as a live signal to map everyone who still touches you. Reyes let the truth land. Didn't need a sniper to kill you. It could kill everyone around you by proximity. Hart took a breath. You made them change posture. That was the point, Reyes said. The point, Hart replied, is you don't understand what you have done. Reyes kept his voice flat. Then explain it. Hart stepped forward, a half step, then stopped, as if an invisible line had been drawn. They needed the AI because it gave them deniability, Hart said. Distance. They could claim outcomes that weren't intentional. Markets moved, protests erupted, ports collapsed, countries fractured. Reyes watched them. You exposed the architecture, Hart continued. So now they're doing something worse. Reyes didn't blink. Humans? Hart's eyes flickered, tiny, involuntary. Confirmation. They're building a replacement layer, Hart said. Not a machine, a chair. Reyes' throat tightened. The chair. Hart expression hardened. Don't say it out loud. Reyes studied him. You're afraid. I'm realistic. Hart snapped. And at the edge was new, silent stretch. The underpass listened. Hart's voice dropped back into control. You will not win by exposure, he said. They'll survive it. They'll bury it. They'll weaponize it. Reyes held his glaze. So what do you want from me? Hart's eyes lowered for a fraction, then returned to Reyes' face. I want you to disappear, Hart said. The words hit like a body shot. Disappear, Reyes repeated. Go dark, Hart said. Cut threads, burn proximity, stop being a signal. Reyes' voice stayed calm, but still slid it under. You want me to abandon my people? Hart didn't flinch. I want you to stop getting them killed by association. Reyes leaned forward slightly. Say what's really happening. Hart's jaw worked for a moment. Reyes saw the man behind the handler, balancing his own ledger. There's a directive, Hart admitted. From who? Hart hesitated. The hesitation was the answer. They're cutting you out, Reyes said. Hart's mouth tightened. They're reorganizing. Reyes watched him. You came to warn me because you still believe in me. Don't romanticize this, Hart says. Reyes didn't smile. Then what is it? Hart stared at him, like he wanted to hate him for being right. Then quietly, I can't shield you anymore. But the flickering bulb popped once, steady again, like it was deciding whether to stay alive. If I speak on official channels, Hart continued, they'll make me the failure, the plausible internal failure. They'll say I mishandled you, that I created you, that I'm protecting you for too long. Trust structure, plausible internal failure. They weren't only attacking Reyes, they were flaming the people attached to him. Hart reached into his coat and pulled out a small drive. He didn't toss it. He didn't offer it like a bribe. He held it like it burned. This is all I can do, he said. Partial map contacting route, shell layers, not enough to destroy him, enough to see where they breathe. Reyes stared at the drive. And if I take it, Reyes said, I confirm you broke protocol. Hart's eyes stared hard. Yes, Reyes didn't move. He watched Hart hands instead, slightly tremor, not fear, consequence. Then Reyes said quietly, then don't give it to me. Hart blinked. What? Drop it, Reyes said, on the ground, then walk away. He stared. Reyes kept his hands open, empty, visible. No exchange, Reyes said. No optics. Hart swallowed. For a moment, he looked like a man deciding whether the rules mattered more than survival. Then his fingers loosened, the drive clicked and went on the wet concrete. Hart stepped back, then back again. Bishop voice in Reyes' ear, movement, two figures approaching, north side, fast. Hart's eyes flickered toward the darkness at the edge of the underpass. He didn't pretend now. They're here, Hart said. Reyes' pulse stayed slow for you. Hart's voice went tight. For the story? The enemies didn't need Hart dead. They needed Hart poisoned. They needed a scapegoat who looked natural. Reyes stared at the drive on the ground, then at Hart. You're not a failure, Reyes said. Hart's face held. His eyes exchanged. Just slightly. Reyes lowered his voice. You're the message. Hart's jaw clenched. Go. Reyes didn't move yet. Bishop. They're within sight. Cruz. I can intercept. Torres. Say when. Lena. Reyes. Reyes cut them off with the controlled breath. No shots. He watched Hart take one more step back into the dim. Hart started to turn away like he could walk off the page out the story. Reyes waited until Hart backed was an angle. His hands were empty. Then Reyes crouched and picked up the drive. Not with triumph, with care. He pocketed it, and he vanished into the wet dark under the bridge, fast, silent, leaving no movement that could film as it being transferred. Above, tires hissed the overpass. The two approaching figures stepped into the edge underpass, light, dark, clean pace, the kind of calm that belonged to procedure. Hart stopped moving. He stood under the flickering light bulb with hands empty. One of the figures looked at him like checking a line. Hart's throat worked once. He didn't speak. He didn't run. He didn't reach for a weapon. He simply adjusted his collar, small and precise, like tightening a tie before an execution. And somewhere in the city, a ledger updated without ink.